think the way that AI will benefit our business most is in transforming the way that we do tasks which are quite routine. So the technical aspect of what we do will become much more efficient at doing that. So drafting documents, drafting PowerPoint presentations, summarising the outcome of meetings, that will become routinely much more quick and be done much more quickly and to a higher quality. And that will leave more time for doing stuff where we can add real value with the client. So I don't see AI as taking away people's jobs. I think of it more as making us more efficient, making us more productive, being able to produce stuff more cheaply, but also freeing us up to spend more time with the clients doing stuff that they really need us to help them with.
I think one of the greatest benefits is around challenging your assumptions. AI is an intelligent outsider in many ways, and so it's a very useful mechanism for having highly educated conversations in a private way, in a very easily accessible way, with someone who can take opposing points of view. And that applies right up the stack, from technology and innovation through to legal argument innovation, for example. So we can test out legal arguments against AIs, as well as ask it to challenge some of our assumptions around our business strategy.
I think the first thing in terms of humans and AI working together is try to create an organisation which is curious about the topic, give them some guidelines or guardrails on what to do and how to do it safely. And then if you have people who are curious and have the right support network around them, then trusting them to use it the right way.
At least in terms of the legal industry, it is unlikely that AI will replace lawyers in the near-term future, but it's certain that if you're a lawyer who doesn't use AI or isn't willing to learn, then you will get left behind by the technology. There are already lots of instances where you can use AI tools to make certain tasks that were previously somewhat tedious and repetitive a lot faster or a lot easier. The challenge, of course, is learning to trust which parts of the AI tool you're using can be relied upon and which parts require manual human verification. And the steer I always give to my team is that it's no different to learning to trust a person you pass on the street. You have to take the time to get to know the AI tool you're using and figure out what it's good at and what it can't be relied upon to do. And that's the only way to figure out which tools you can use and which tools will accelerate your workflow.
The overall confidence from the business and technology community is actually very, very high. We understand where this technology can bring value. We understand where perhaps it's not fully mature, today. And in our own example, we've woven AI into the way that we deliver all of our services. We talk about service transformation in HCL Tech. We're very confident that we can now lead with AI in the way that we deliver services. And I think this was also echoed in the conversation in the room, that a remarkable number of organizations are now very comfortable weaving AI into their core business processes.
I think right now, of course, AI is kind of one of those fields where data is absolutely key. You come up on this sort of almost like a barrier of security and accuracy in terms of the quality of the outputs that come from there. As we know, some of these large language models can be subject to hallucinations or misinformation. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges. And I think the immediate solution to that is almost like this human in the loop element. So whether that's coming across in that AI model development pipeline for a lot of businesses or third-party solutions, but also figuring out the right set of tooling at the point of production, at the point of usage, to help either employees or end users take better control and give better input to those models at that point to get the best kind of output. We got to a point in the discussion where I think the sentiment was really leaning towards the fact that, yes, we want to make sure that AI is safe enough. So the aspect of regulation, but it's also really figuring out a way to balance regulation versus innovation. Obviously you don't want to regulate too hard and then stifle the innovation that could come from people just experimenting with the tool and figuring out ways to bring efficiency for businesses.
My main takeaway from the session was the number of parallels there were across all the different sectors that we had in the room. And I think that that's a really good lesson for all of us to learn. Regardless of how mature the space you work in is, you can take learnings from other sectors and apply them in your own context when you're thinking about how, whether it's you, your team, or your organization can leverage this technology.
Having talked to people who understand some of the legal implications of AI usage, I now have a number of things that I need to make sure that we are considering when we're making decisions about what we're using AI for, things which hadn't really occurred to me before. So, that's always really useful. It's still in its infancy, right? I mean, we're sort of 18 months into generative AI really hitting the mainstream. There are experts, but they're only experts of 18 months standing in generative AI, so we can all take lessons wherever we can find them. So yeah, it was great interaction between the various communities that were represented on the roundtable.